Pisces, Happy New Year. It's a lucky period for you. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au. It's a lucky period because you see up here in the upper part of your horoscope, Venus, Mercury, Mars activating the professional arena of your life, giving you the ability to grace the presence of people who can make things happen for you. And the Sun and Pluto in the 11th house are also an adjunct to this. Mars has a dominant directional strength in the 10th house. The planets work very well in the 11th house here. They bring profitability, they bring a drive for friendship and connections to help you further your professional activities. This is the time to network, I would say. And Venus is a planet that allows you very easily to convince others without having to make too much effort. Do take a look at this conjunction of planets here in the 11th house. It's not only to do with networking per se, but this is profitability, especially if you're running your own business. Some of you, I'm sure, are doing that or have sideline activities. This is where you can see an uplift in the cash and the receipts. And the moon here shows us that you may be planning some whole new mechanism of marketing or value add to what it is you offer the world. And that's on account of the transit of the moon here, the new moon in the 11th house. So that can be the emergence of new friendships or acquaintances, a whole new line of networking and people that can act as a support to what it is you're doing. There it is on the 11th, very powerful and can be a little bit obsessive with Pluto there, but very convincing. There's Mars, Sun, both fiery planets, giving you the drive, the push that you need to forge your way into different circles of influence, different markets. And of course, this 11th house has to do with your overall life ambition, what it is that you're striving for. So having the new moon here, Pisces, tells us that you may even readjust. You may have to make some adjustments to what it is that you want to achieve in life. But it's certainly not a bad thing, especially with, you see Mercury moving into that sector, 4 planets after that new moon there, and Venus still retaining its position as the queen at the top, the head of the chart, what we call the apex or the midheaven here. So that's very, very fortuitous for you. You do have this rather slow moving Saturn and Neptune pair moving through your sun sign. That can be problematic because although you've got all these opportunities, what's the point of that if you don't feel particularly happy in yourself? Saturn can make you feel a little blue, a little bit down, a little bit lacking in self-love or self-esteem. And certainly if you've got all of these planets here in the 11th house, you're going to feel, Mercury rules your marital sector, your primary relationships. The moon rules your 5th house of love affairs, and that's here in the 11th house. So you can feel propped up by these third parties. But the important thing here for you is to ensure that your self-esteem, your self-satisfaction is coming from within yourself in a way that lifts you up. And you've got to recognize your greatness. I think that's what I'm saying here. Now, the Sun and Pluto move into this 12th house on the 21st of January. And this is a time for pensive reconsideration of, how you've become who you've become. Going back into your history and looking at what's made you who you are. Reappraising the lessons that you've learned and maybe the lessons that you haven't learned. That's going to be all the more evident around the 26th when you see this opposition of the moon to Pluto, and then on the 26th that full moon in the sixth house. This sixth house has to do with your workplace and the way your work is impacting your well-being. So there's a couple of things here. You've been relying maybe a little bit too much on these very positive, no doubt, social aspects from the planets in the 11th house, but then we see the problematic reliance on those people, and also maybe on your work colleagues here. Don't make work the reason you are alive. Work should be for the purposes of enhancing your life, not work just for work's sake. So bear that in mind. Do some work on yourself, especially with these transits in the last couple of days of the month, and I think you're going to see that you're going to come out of this all the richer financially and socially. Don't forget to look at what we've written for you at astrology.com.au. We've got more information there for you for January, for the rest of the year. We've got the weeklies there to enhance these readings, and the dailies to give you a daily fix. Don't forget to subscribe, drop me a line if you wish, and of course I'll be back next month, same time, same channel, with February forecast. Take care now, bye bye.